My name is Greg Anderson. I am one of the pastors at Union Church, the oldest church in Hong Kong.
And why is this event something that's significant to you and your ministry and those kinds of things?
I have a pretty busy schedule, and when I first heard about this conference, I don't think I can fit it in. But boy, am I glad I fit it in, because I have been around some amazing mission minds. And as a local pastor, I've had a chance to meet some people I've read about and heard about, and have been able to understand some of their perspectives and how it applies to my local ministry. So it's been an integrating and exhilarating process.
So how do you see it relating to your ministry?
Well, as we're talking about orality in a very general way, I am looking in a very specific situational way. And some of the theory is hard for me to visualize, and as I've been trying to put this into practice, it's forced me to rethink some key categories of my ministry.
Okay, like what? What key categories are you really having to refocus on?
Well, I serve a congregation of about 25 different nationalities, all sorts of ethnic groups. And as an American, as a Westerner, I am in the minority. But it's so easy for me to communicate on my level rather than the level of the congregation. So I'm coming away from this with a heightened appreciation of who really is the audience of Union Church, and how do we really respect the wide variety of cultures and people that God has gathered in this place.
So we're talking about orality here, obviously, and lots of different things. And people who watch and listen to this know the difference between primary and secondary orality. Those people who already read and yet are transcending into print and electronic media. What are you taking away from here that addresses the needs of that multifaceted church? From a perspective on orality, or from orality?
Well, I'm thinking about our fastest growing segment of a population is young Chinese people who've been educated abroad. So we're talking about secondary orality in a level that I haven't even begun to understand. And yet they're being reintroduced to their home culture, and many of them are from the mainland China, and they still have, they're from families where orality, primary orality is a real issue. So it's been a very confusing but exhilarating time just trying to think about some things that I took for granted in the whole concept of orality.
Without getting too controversial here, the Chinese cultures take great pride in their literate accomplishments and the literate nature of, they've got an alphabet that annotates everybody. And yet there's a strong oral tradition here, but high resistance to this thing on orality. So how do you begin to bridge that resistance to orality, even among, I don't even know if I can talk about this as the ethnic minorities and those kinds of things?
Great question, but let's even step back. Many Chinese people were educated in Australia, England, the United States, and do not read Chinese. They speak Chinese fluently, but they cannot read. And it's a very embarrassing situation to have very sophisticated people who are oral when it comes to the language rather than literate. So it's a very complex situation, and I have no answers, but I have questions that I didn't even know I had because of this conference.